Zdravím vás po delší době u dalšího videa. Tentokrát u nových zpráv o UFO. A ano, vím, že je to už pár měsíců, co jsem vydal poslední díl, ale na druhou stranu, pokud sledujete Sueného, tak u něj na YouTube jsem za tu dobu sdílel a rozebíral novinky, a to nejenom s ním, ale také s Alexandrou McKenzie společně v několika vysíláních. Těch bylo hned několik, takže pokud jste je nezaznamenali, tak určitě doporučuji si je pustit. Je to jiný formát než tento, jdeme opravdu hodně do hloubky, jelikož ta vysílání jsou vždy tak cca 2 hodiny dlouhá. Pokud jste nic z toho neviděli, doporučuji se alespoň podívat na to nejčerstvější vysílání. Tak a pojďme už k věci. Dnešní video je de facto o několika důležitých událostech. Všechny mají společné téma. A to, že UFO politika USA se teď dostává do velmi stěžejního bodu. Mnoho lidí očekává tento rok převratné změny, a to včetně doktora Stevena Greera, ale k tomu se ještě dostanu. Abych vás uvedl do obrazu, začněme u čerstvého rozhovoru s profesorem Garry Nolanem. Pokud jej neznáte, tak Garry Nolan je profesor na Stanfordské univerzitě, je to velmi uznávan akademik, publikoval či spolupublikoval stovky vědeckých článků a okrajově se zajímá o téma UFO. No, i když je pravdou, že v poslední době se tím tématem zabývá dosti intenzivně. Teď v květnu s ním byl publikován rozhovor, kde sděluje sebevědomě v skutku převratné věci. Zmiňuje dokonce i reverzní inženýrství mimozemských plavidel. A slyšet o tomhle mluvit profesora ze Stanfordu je něco neúplně očekávatelného. Garry Nolan v tomto rozhovoru také v kostce shrnuje ta nejnovější politická dění okolo UFO, takže pozorně poslouchejte.
Do you believe that extraterrestrial intelligence has visited planet Earth?
I think you can go a step further. It hasn't just visited, it's been here a long time and it's still here. And it has basically, people talk about the wow signal, looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. The wow signal is that people see it on an almost regular basis. That's the communication that's already here.
And that statement seems so incredible that it's tough to believe, right? Like, people hear that, and maybe a lot of people here hear that, and they don't believe it. And so I'm curious, if you had to assign a probability to that statement, that you believe extraterrestrial intelligence has visited this planet, what probability would you assign?
100%. And that's not just my opinion. I mean, look, the National Defense Appropriation Act, passed last year, signed by Biden in December. 30 pages of that is the establishment of an unidentified aerial phenomenon office, the establishment of looking into the harm that's happened to an even number of the individuals, going back to 1945 and looking at the disinformation and misinformation that has been basically articulated over the decades. 12 US senators have signed on to a document that basically says we want the information. The establishment of an office, AARO, in the Department of Defense, has 25 people working in it right now. And what's their goal? Collecting the information across all of the U.S. Department of Defense intelligence offices, and collation of that into a uniform format for the very first time, and provision of that then to Congress, the creation of a whistleblowers program specifically that allows people from within, who, I'm going to say this, who've been working on the reverse engineering programs, reverse engineering of objects, so that they can come in and break their oaths, but it's specifically just to talk to Congress and give that information in classified settings. And that the most recent one that happened was just last weekend, and it created quite a hornet's nest in Washington.
Okay, so let's take one step back. Reverse engineering programs.
Of downed craft. Now, the first question that people will ask is, well, if they're so frigging advanced, why are they crashing? Because what's crashing is not actual living things. I mean, I use this example a lot. If you wanted to study a tribe of cannibals in the middle of the Amazon, are you going to go yourself and show up in the middle of the tribe and not hopefully become dinner on the other side of it? So if you're an advanced intelligence, you know, I don't think we're all that advanced, frankly. You're not going to basically put your life and limb at risk by coming here. So mostly what you're seeing here are either drones or some sort of advanced AI or whatever it is. I mean, look, we're already dealing with an alien intelligence in our own emails, right? Our own ChatGPT, et cetera. We don't even know what it's doing. So imagine if you were a million years ahead of us. How do you have a dialogue with something like that? Or what is it that could possibly do?
Yeah. I mean, there are so many tangents to go down. We have about 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Wow.
We've covered a lot, though. Mm-hmm. You know, I think what you just said feels like it has strong parallels to religion, to what's happening with AI right now, to the simulation hypothesis. Like, they all are kind of saying something very, very similar here.
Right.
And I guess I'm curious, right, as we wrap this up, what happens next?
Well, what happens next is, I mean, what you're actually seeing is what's happening next is the professionalization of this, right? It's not just me. I mean, I have many now scientists with whom I'm working, right? There's Ryan Graves, who was one of the pilots that saw some of the objects in those videos. He's got the American Institute of Aeronautics and Engineers, 50,000 strong organization. He's got a group within them, as well as a 501c3 for civil aviation. Yeah. You know, we've used, and I'm just going to be honest, we've used the threat narrative that these things are showing up repeatedly. I mean, this is today. They're showing up repeatedly around our ships. So I think the objective has been to make it okay to talk about it. Yeah. Because we made it okay to talk about it, we opened the apertures on the filters on the sensor systems. That's what partly led to the seeing of those Chinese balloons. You wouldn't have seen them if it weren't for that. Yeah. Right? Because we created laws that said it's time to open the apertures, because they were only looking at particular flight paths of things that look like a missile or a plane. So that's the next part. And then to develop, what I'm doing actually is developing novel kinds of materials analysis pipelines for basically analyzing the material which is in the public sphere or the semi-public sphere, but then also, frankly, as a goad and a lure to bring in those who do have the stuff behind the scenes so that they can say, oh, okay, because I want to see it published. Yeah. I don't want to see it behind the scenes anymore. Yeah. And finally, what you're seeing is that a lot of people who are within the intel communities as well are frustrated, and they want to bring it out because they haven't been able to figure it out because the best minds aren't working on it. Yeah. The crazy scientists at Harvard, MIT, Yale, or wherever are basically not allowed in because maybe they do a little bit too much of this or other things, and they couldn't get a security clearance if they wanted to. Yeah.
Tohle vše, co Garry Nolan zmiňoval, mi přijde fascinující a celkem optimistické. Pojďme ale ještě zpátky k té UFO politice v USA. Vraťme se k té zmíněné UAP kanceláři. Jmenuje se All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Česky se to dá přeložit přibližně jako kancelář studující anomálie na všech frontách, tedy ve vzduchu, ve vodě a i ve vesmíru. Je to státní kancelář, která se zabývá tématikou UFO. Její podobu navrhla minulý rok senátorka Kirsten Gillibrand a v teorii to působí opravdu slibně. O specifikách této kanceláře jsem už několikrát mluvil, takže zde jen v pár bodech pro připomenutí. A ano, jak říkal profesor Garry Nolan, tato kancelář byla zavedena na začátku roku 2023 a lidé tam už pracují. Jenže vždy se nabízí otázka, jaký bude rozdíl praxe od teorie. 19. dubna proběhlo veřejné slyšení o UFO s ředitelem této kanceláře a bohužel to bylo spíše zklamáním. K žádnému výraznému oficiálnímu pokroku nedošlo a pan ředitel se vyjadřoval takto.
I should also state clearly for the record that in our research, AARO has found no credible evidence thus far of extraterrestrial activity, off-world technology, or objects that defy the known laws of physics. In the event sufficient scientific data were ever obtained that a UAP encountered can only be explained by extraterrestrial origin, we are committed to working with our interagency partners at NASA to appropriately inform U.S. government's leadership of its findings. For those few cases that have leaked to the public previously and subsequently commented on by the U.S. government, I encourage those who hold alternative theories or views to submit your research to credible peer-reviewed scientific journals. AARO is working very hard to do the same.
A tak, jak jste pochopili z toho závěru, tak pan ředitel této UAP kanceláře nám sdělil, ať se do toho nemontujeme a necháme vše na akademicích a vědecké obci. Je pravdou, že zapojení vědců je obrovsky důležité a já osobně jsem velmi rád, že se to děje více a více. Krom profesora Garry Nolana je to i například harvardský profesor Avi Loeb, který vede Galileo Project. No a tento projekt mimochodem tento měsíc vydal prvních 7 vědecky recenzovaných článků, když tak na ně nechám odkaz v popisku videa. A tohle vše je bezvadné, je dobré o tomhle slyšet, ale akademismus není vše. Ten pokrok musí přicházet i na jiných frontách a dokonce může přicházet i od obyčejných lidí, ať už jen praktikováním CE5, nějakého vlastního protokolu pro kontakt skrz meditace či cokoliv takového, zaznamenáváním vlastních zkušeností či vlastním bádáním. Přeci jen ty největší zlomy málo kdy přišly od konvenčních akademiků. A tak závěrem, jak se na to dívám, je otázkou, zda se můžeme zcela spolehnout na tuto novou UFO kancelář. Přeci jen může to být podobným zklamáním jako kdysi Project Blue Book. Faktem ale je, že hra je už rozehraná na více frontách. To dění kupředu jde sledovat na mnoha místech, v mnoha oblastech. Určitě není nutné představovat doktora Stevena Greera, který procesu odhalení pravdy okolo UFO věnoval více než polovinu svého života. Doktor Greer chystá velkou veřejnou medializovanou konferenci skrze National Press Club. Proběhne 12. června a dost pravděpodobně celou UFO problematiku posune zase o krok dál. Zmíním také, že doktor Steven Greer je rozhodně spíše pesimistou než optimistou, co se týče nějaké UFO politiky. Takže když Greer slibuje velká dění v následujících pár měsících, věřím, že na tom je velký kus pravdy. S úryvkem od doktora Stevena Greera se s vámi dnes rozloučím.
What the breaking news out of Washington is, as you know from my previous discussions, we've been providing key information to the investigators in Washington who are trying to get to the bottom of this issue. And the very good news is they now understand that there really is an unconstitutional and illegal and frankly treasonous project going forward on the UFO issue that does not have the oversight and control of the president or the Congress. Now, because they now know that as a fact, there are things happening, some of which I cannot really talk about yet, but I will tell you that there are big breakthroughs and the game is going to be up very soon in the next few months. So what we're trying to do is prepare the public and all of you guys for the changes that are coming over the next 6 to 12 months as this all begins to unfold.